Hi YouTubers and gamers, and I'm back, and today I am with I'm doing a video. I'm doing a video of a difference. I'm doing a video response to Grubgun. If you check his channel, I've got a link below. He's a fantastic YouTuber. He's him and his partner Catkin do great videos. I don't think he would class them as great. I think they would class them as satirical, perhaps, entertaining, distractions. I don't know how he'll class his videos. Grubgun Gold, perhaps. I don't know. But anyway, he posted an interesting question. I guess some of his videos are almost biographical or philosophical, perhaps, if we dare go that deep. Yeah, so one of the questions was about the transition from collector to gamer, and I was thinking, where do I class myself, as a collector or gamer? And when you get into a situation whereby you've got thousands and thousands of games, some of which you're never going to get to play realistically, is it, are you just a collector? And there seems to be almost like a guilt associated with having loads of games, especially particularly good games, if you're not actually playing them. And it's like, something almost to be shameful of. I'm not saying necessarily that I'm saying that, but sometimes I get the impression that sometimes there is a bit of, I don't know, stigma attached to being collecting sometimes. It's called to be a gamer, but to be a collector, it's almost like a stigma attached to it, I think. I myself find it, at the end of the day, who really gives a shit? And it's about what you want to, it's about doing what you actually enjoy. That's the most important thing. I have loads of games. It gives me a kind of a tangible pleasure having physical games out there, physical things at the moment, and while it still gives me some kind of tangible pleasure, that's great. Hopefully I'll get some other kind of pleasure out of those games and other shit out there at some point by actually playing some of them, which I do intend to do as time goes by. But as we all know, there are many distractions in life. You work, you've got family, you've got kids. You don't want to play games at the expense of not living life. With those important things as well. Sometimes life isn't like that. I mean, I like to spend more time gaming. I like to spend less time working, but I have no choice about that. I'm married. I like to have more time having sex, but does that happen? No, let's not go down there. But sometimes it's what we want we can't always get, or we shouldn't get in some cases, because if we did nothing but playing games, there'll be other costs, there'll be other sacrifices. Less time with our family, less relationships, less money coming in, bills not being paid, and so forth. So there's responsibilities and commitments that sometimes come into life, and we may use those intentionally or unintentionally sometimes as excuses for not playing games as much as we should do, perhaps. I love YouTube. Is that another distraction I intentionally use? Instead of making videos or playing games, I watch videos on YouTube and be part of that YouTube community. But then in a way, I'm sort of observing life, or gaming life, or observing gaming relationships and being part of those gaming relationships. So again, is that such a bad thing at the end of the day, as long as I get some pleasure from it? And I think that's what the key thing is. It's about enjoyment in life. If you've got crap on a wall, and you enjoy collecting loads of games that you're never going to play, fine. If you collect amiibo but all complete in box, some people may say that's a bit pointless, but again, if you get some pleasure from that, fine. If you open your amiibo, you actually use them, fine. It's all about what you want to do, really, at the end of the day. I mean, many of your hobbies involve a lack of functionality. People who collect stamps, people who collect art, it looks very nice, but what do you do with it? Nothing. Well, as long as you get some pleasure from it, and that's the whole point at the end of the day. Certainly don't look at collecting gamings as an investment. I don't, because the amount of money I've spent on games overall, despite any increase or in some games, game deflation is massive, and you don't get into game collecting to make money, because it's unless you're a reseller and so forth, it's not going to really happen as a collector. You always end up spending more money than actually what you get back in return, I reckon. But for me, it's not about making money. It's about having the things. It's about having the possessions, having the games, or completing box. Something about me having completing box games. I get more pleasure from it. In some ways, if you're just a pure gamer, there's no point having the completing box unless it's the same money as for cheap alternatives. And these days, the cheaper alternatives are becoming digital. Thousands of games out there. You can get nearly most games out there in the digital format you can these days. So why have games at all if you're just a pure gamer? And I guess at the end of the day, people still get that tangible feeling of having those things. Other people might also enjoy obtaining the games, like the hunt. And I do like going around some shops in town and seeing if what may turn up and getting a few good deals here and there. And I do get a few bits off eBay, and I go to car boots on occasion, a bit of fresh air, a bit of exercise, but also I can get a few good deals on occasion, and I enjoy that too. But I don't let things overtake life though, and I think it's about not overtaking life. I think that's an important thing. Some people get loads of deals off the internet going through Facebook and stuff. I can't be bothered to do that, it takes too much time. I'd rather pay a bit more on eBay price sometimes than spend hours trying to go through Facebook on the off chance of looking for something that might be gaming related, because half the time it's just other crap that's on there and so forth. So I think that's more of a waste of time than anything really. And I guess that's a sad reality of life. There's only two things certain in life, isn't there? Life has death and taxes, and we're all going to be brown bread at some point in the day, and so it's about making the most of it really. Over the years I've collected things, I've collected large DVD libraries and so forth, and I came to a realisation that I weren't going to get around to watching most of those, so I got rid of most of the library. I got about 1/3 of a library, because there's still lots of stuff I'm still thinking I will go back to that to watch at some point. But having physical films wasn't giving me any pleasure anymore, so I just got rid of it. And maybe one day, with some of my gaming collecting, some of my games, I may think, well, actually, having a physical copy of that is no longer going to give me any pleasure, so I'll get rid of it. And I think that's what a lot of gamers do. They eventually they go through, they have a cull and get rid of some bits and so forth, and sometimes they may live or not to regret that. It all varies really, but I guess our tastes as people change, and what we enjoy perhaps changes as we go through life, and so I guess it's about keeping up with that. Game collecting or game playing is a hobby. As long as we enjoy it and don't get stressed over it. As soon as we start getting stressed over it, it's less of a hobby, it's more of a chore, it's more of a job. And we don't get paid for that unless you're a successful YouTuber or something like that. So we got to enjoy our hobby, and I think that's a key thing. That's the only lesson from being a gamer or collector. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as you enjoy what you do. And me, I'm probably more of a collector, but I do get some time to play games. I get time to live life with my family and the people who are important to me. So my life is spent doing things that I do not enjoy, but everyone else out there, work and queuing up on traffic jams or whatever else it is. That's part of life as well. We can't always have the good bits. But if we can have some good bits, not at the expense of other things, then that's all the better really. With gaming and so forth, I've got lots of good games out there as well, which I haven't got around to playing, and I intend to at some point get around to playing them. At the moment, I am enjoying playing stuff like this, Star Wars Battlefront, putting hours into multiplayer. In some respect, pointless, because what I've got to show for it, nothing. There's no story or anything. There's no the objectives are a bit lame. It's just pure benign enjoyment of going into a battle and getting killed most of the times, but hopefully getting a few kills in, and and doing a little bit better each time as we go along. Sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days. It's but you know, my daughter loves it. I enjoy playing it, but I'm also trying to get a few other games played on as well. On the Game Boy, I play a bit of Shining Force still. I'm still trying to get through that and finish that, and so that's quite challenging. And I think, you know, if games get to the, you know, case of, because they are challenging, because they're so difficult, finish it. Just leave it. You know, I don't think we necessarily have to complete every game we start. I used to feel guilty, you know, not completing games. But if you get to a case whereby a game's no longer enjoyable because it's either boring or it's frustratingly difficult, and you know, and it just makes you mad, and then why continue with that? You know, you're not getting any pleasure out of it in a day. No one gives a damn if you finish a game or not. So it's about just getting what you can out of it. Maybe you'll go back to it. Maybe you may not. You know, maybe you won't. With Half-Life, you know, there's the expectation. Oh, this is such a cool game, and I put lots of hours into it. I never got around to finishing it. I sort of got a bit bored towards 2/3 into it, really. So maybe I didn't give it enough try, but I just thought, oh, I'd rather do something else. And I think that's the thing. If you feel as if you're coming up with excuses of not playing a particular game, then maybe that's not the right game that you should be playing. But at the end of the day, I go back to what I said before. You know, key thing is not get stressed over whatever we do, but to enjoy it, and you know, and I hope that's the philosophy that, you know, most of us aspire to. If you enjoy collecting them boxed and complete, brand new sealed games, if that's what you want to do, and that gives you pleasure, fine. If you just, you know, you know, and it doesn't matter what you do at the end of the day. I think as long as you get some pleasure from it, it doesn't go at the expense of the other important things in life, and that's including the key people we love, even if they're troublesome, a bit like my daughter. But there are other priorities to gaming in life, and I think as long as we don't neglect those at the expense of our hobby, that's fine. Can become a bit of an obsession, but again, as long as we keep that obsession in check, if it's collecting shit or spending too much time playing shit, as long as we keep it in check, I think I think, you know, no one's going to suffer, and there's no harm in it. So that's my little take on the question of being a gamer or collector, or a transition from a two. I think, you know, I don't think it's a journey that's that one has to take unless one wishes to take, if that makes any sense. It's about, and it can change. I think it's about us doing whatever we want. If we want to spend most of our time collecting and a little bit of time gaming, fine. If we want to spend all of our time collecting and no time for gaming, as long as we still enjoy that, then that's fine. And that's the key thing. It's about remembering to enjoy what we do. So that's it. That's my take. Do check out Grubgun's channel if you haven't already heard of of Jeremy. He is, like I said, he's one of those YouTube characters that are a pleasure to witness and be part and have a relationship. That sounds dodgy. No, have to be involved with in some way, because, you know, it's just refreshing to see someone that is real and genuine, not too serious, but sometimes very serious. Anyway, take care, and I'll see you later. Bye. So I like to, at some point, play all my games. Will I ever get to? Probably not. Should I get rid of my game collection then? No. There's lots of things, you know, that I may want to aspire to, but may never happen. I may want to, I said before, have more sex with the old wife. Is that going to happen? Probably not. Should I get rid of the wife? No, I shouldn't. Hang on. Can I have a think about that? Wife. think I've got an idea. I'll be back. Hello, is that Thai Brides R Us? Yes, I'd like to order a new wife, please. Preferably one that's, you know, likes to have lots of sex, yes. What? How much? Fuck that. Back to games.